Thinking about going off-grid can be quite daunting for some of us. In fact, when we first started to go around and park in CL sites or camp in CL sites at certified locations or listed sites that didn't really have the electric hookup, felt a bit, will we be able to manage sort of feeling. It was a bit daunting when we first started to wonder whether our leisure battery would last, whether we'd run out of lights, whether we'd be able to run the tap, because it's all all the essential stuff is all run from 12 volt, isn't it? Like most modern vans, caravans and motorhomes have LED lights, and if you've got an older van and you don't have LED lights, it's a pretty easy conversion. You can buy a little kit and run LED lights right straight off your battery through a little switch and put LED lights wherever you need them. So most things that are on electric can be run from 12 volt, including your TV. We've got an Avtex, I think it's a 17-inch TV DVD player already installed. It comes pre-installed, but you can buy an Avtex TV or a British-made Cello TV. They all run on 12 volts, so you can easily have your TV running without being plugged into the electric. But what about cooking? Cooking, you've got to be doing that on gas. So your choices for off-grid cooking are on your gas cooker that's built into your caravan or your motorhome, or outside on your barbecue. And of course you'll need either the sort of refillable gas bottles, and we've got a gas it system. There's also the gas low system, where you drive into a filling station, fill up with the LPG, and that's it. You just then use it. Or there's the safe fill bottles, or the standard replaceable Calagas bottles. So what we found when we were off grid a lot is that leisure batteries lasted reasonably well for 2 or 3 days. The gas, as we sort of travel around, and averagely we have two 11 kilo bottles on board, and full to empty will last us about a month. So a couple of weeks for a bottle, and then we change over. So they're both connected, and we have a duo valve, so we can change over. We could set it to the central position, so that it would just take from whatever bottle it felt like, or both bottles at the same time. But then when you run out, you haven't got any more gas. That's it, you're done. So I prefer to have a bit of an eye on it, use one bottle, then switch it over, and I know then that I've got that same amount of time, roughly, maybe a couple of weeks, while we're completely off grid and living that sort of way. So then we can sort of plan where we're going to go to fill up. I don't always wait until they're both completely empty. Maybe we get a week into the second bottle, and I'm starting to think about, right, well, let's fill up again. And it's usually about 25 pounds per month to fill up the gas bottles. That is, unless you can cook on electric while you're off grid. Now, as some of you will know, the regular viewers or the more long-term viewers might know that we've recently changed our battery over to a lithium battery with a bigger inverter and a charger where we can charge the lithium battery while we're driving. So when we start the van up and drive along, the Sterling Power DC charger will push about 45 to 50 amps of charge into the battery, and after a few hours, we can go from 30% up to full charge reasonably quickly. So when you're moving a lot and you're staying off grid, if you're going if you're traveling around France, for example, from staying in an air for a couple of nights, moving on, see a different place, you're always sort of recharging that battery up if you've got a Sterling charger on board. Also, solar panels can be a real great way to charge up your battery. We've got 2 panels laying flat on the roof. That's not an optimal way to get those to work. You really need an angle pointing directly at the sun to get the most out of a solar panel. But laying flat on the roof, really convenient. Keep them clean, give them a bit of a wash over every couple of weeks if you can. If not, less often, but do clean them now and again, because that actually makes them more effective. And have a think about the charge controller that you have in most standard charge controllers. Are okay. If you've got an 80 or 100 watt solar panel, a PWM charge controller is fine. It's not optimal, but so I would always recommend an MPPT, a maximum power point tracking charge controller, and that's what we've upgraded ours to. So we've got rid of the original charge controller. We've bypassed all the Sargent control unit that we've got on board that controls all the electrics, and we've gone from the solar panel straight into a new MPPT controller and then connecting to the battery to give it a charge. We've also fitted another 200 watt 24 volt solar panel coming into a similar but separate MPPT controller, which then controls that voltage, reduces it down to 12 volt for the battery, and then actually when you take that 24 volts, reduce it increases the amps. That's something that you need to sort of think about. Higher voltages being reduced, well higher voltages lower amps, lower voltages higher amps for the same amount of wattage, if you like. There's a bit of a calculation around it, I don't know it off the top of my head, but what I've seen is we've got a 100 watt solar panel at 12 volt coming into an MPPT controller from Victron, and we've got a 200 watt 24 volt panel coming into an MPPT controller. And you think that the 200 watt would be for the same lighting conditions with the sun directly overhead, lighting them both. You'd think the 100 watt would be exactly half of the 200 watt in terms of power being pushed to the battery. But what I see consistently is that 200 watt solar panel is maybe about 10%, and sometimes more than that, but I'll say 10% more efficient, more power coming through to the battery. So for me, I would always go for a higher voltage panel, but I don't necessarily think that that's that's more anecdotal, my thoughts and feelings around it rather than a scientific test. But they are both on the roof. They do both come into MPPT controllers from the same manufacturer, fitted at the same time, and they do both go into the same battery. And I do consistently see the 24 volt panel producing more than double the 12 volt panel for the wattages, 100 watt and 200 watt. Anyway, so solar panels is a really good idea. We've also got another 100 watt solar panel with a PMW charge controller, and directing that towards the sun can give you a way more power than being flat. So you want the sun to be shining directly at the panel, but if the sun's over there and coming that way, it's not getting its full force. Whereas if you can angle the panel, you're getting better, and that's what you can do with a portable or fold up panel. And you see them around. We've got one, and I've got it connected up to the battery. At least I've got the cables connected up to the battery, and I can plug it in whenever I need to give it a bit more of a boost. When the 200 watt and 100 watt panels were producing a total of 3 or 4 amps of charge, my 100 watt directed at the same sun at the same time of day would produce an additional 6 amps. So that's really a lot more, so much more efficient and effective. But there you go. So if you've ever thought about going off grid, weren't too sure about it, it can be done, and you definitely should try it, because it's surprising how liberating it can feel. But there you are. There's a Facebook group called the Caravan and Motorhome Off-Grid Group, or CAMOG. Have a look for the Caravan and Motorhome Off-Grid Group on Facebook. Join that. There's loads and loads of good advice on there. So that's it. Enjoy your off-gridding. Look up, on that group there's lists of CL sites that sort of support the off-grid thing. So no electric hookup, but great places, often very, very low cost. So there you are. That's it from me today. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, it's been useful, click the thumbs up button down below. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little ding dong bell icon so that we can send you a reminder whenever we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.